It's Stormy, and we are working on the Active Directory installation on a virtual machine in Azure. And in the last video, we joined our client virtual machine to our domain controller virtual machine. We also set the DNS server to make sure that it was connected correctly, and we also verified that in PowerShell. So we were able to ping DC1's private IP address to make sure that we were connected, and we confirmed within PowerShell that we were connected to the DNS server for DC1, which is the private IP address of 10.0.0.4. All right. And so now we are at the point where we are going to set up remote desktop set up a remote desktop for non-administrative users on client 1. So we want to go back to client 1. So we're going to go back to client 1's virtual machine. We should still be logged. So now we're actually going to close this out because we are going to log in to client 1 as Stormy Doe, which is the admin account that we created. Okay, so it's restarting from the last part of our lab, and we will let's reconnect. Okay, can we get a login? Okay, here we go. So we'll log in as domain.com. And the password is our longer password that we are using for our virtual machines. Oh, admin. Stormy admin. The name is Stormy Doe, but the username is under Stormy_admin. So let's go back to the password. Okay, continue. And we're in as Stormy Doe. Okay, and while we are waiting for this to load up, I'm going to go and copy a script that's needed for part of this lab. Open up PowerShell. Always want to make sure that you are in the right machine when you're working with multiple machines. So we'll click host name. Who am I? And we're logged in as Stormy admin also. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is click right on the start menu, go to system, and remote desktop. So here, remember, we are going to set up the remote desktop for non-administrative users on client 1. So we click on remote desktop, select user that can remotely access the PC. Okay. I'll need to add. Okay, domain users. Users, click check name. Click OK. And OK. And now we're going to go back to DC1. Right. Open Active Directory. Under Active Directory, users and computers. Go to my domain. We're going to go to users and domain users. Okay. Okay, domain users. All right. Can we see them? Go to members. And these are all the current users within this particular domain. Okay. And they are going to be non-administrative users. So we'll go ahead and click OK. All right, and then the next thing, so that's complete. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to create a bunch of additional users and attempt to log into client one with one of the users. Okay, so currently, right, let's just check our host to be on the safe side, just good practices. So we are in DC1, which we want to be logged into DC1. Okay, who am I? Stormy_admin. Okay. Now let's go over to the start menu. Type ISE. And this is PowerShell. Okay. So we are in Windows native scripting language. Okay. Head back to Active Directory. And we need to go to, hey, let's refresh. Let's go to employees. Click refresh. Did we do it incorrectly? Okay. Maybe that's the denial because they should be showing here. But let's go back and get the script again. I did not want it to create 10,000 accounts, but I'll put it back. Let me just make sure that I have. Refresh. Okay. Let's close this out. Okay, so that script is going to be running for a long time. So I ended up doing what I did not want to do because I think that the reason that it was not running is because of it not being installed correctly. But I think I could still have installed it right into the command line. As you see, it still ran the same way, but now it's definitely running from the script we imported directly into the file. All right. So we go to Active Directory. We need to refresh. It's not working. Let's click on domains and then try to refresh. Okay. Let's see. Nothing. What is going on? I'm having a hard time today. Oh, let's go to users. But here they are. I believe, no, are these the new users? Nope. No, that's not right. Should be under employees. Let's look at the script. Let's look at the script. Okay, yes, there's an employee ID, but let's go up to the top. Password, users, password, one number of accounts, 10,000 functions, generate random. And let's see. Accounts, generate name, last name. Yeah, okay, well, you can see right here that they're definitely employees there. The employee ID, our path equals, okay, employees. Yep, okay, because here's the name of the folder that we want them to go to. So maybe it needs a few more minutes to generate and process and get them over to that folder. But if it doesn't come up in the next few minutes, I'm going to troubleshoot something else. So let's see. Come on, be nice. So running. It's running. Can we refresh this? Or should we? Do we need to refresh the dashboard? Let's see if this works. Okay. Now we'll go back to Active Directory users. Oh, still nothing. Interesting. We have to figure this out. Okay, refresh again and again and again and again. As soon as we get some users, then we can go to the next step. Okay, so let me check something and I'll be right back. Now let's go back to ISC. Okay. Let's see, open script. Documents. All files, please. Open. I think we need to run this as admin. Selection. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, so we're going to close this. We're going to go back and we're going to do this again so we can run ICE. And right click and run as administrator. And we should be able to have the script run properly and the name show up inside of the employees folder. So let's see now. Oh, there it is. That's how they should look. We had all of those denials because it wasn't running properly. And I did change it again to 100 instead of 10,000. So we're going to minimize this. Close out that because that's a duplicate. And now if we go to Active Directory and refresh, here are all the names that were generated from the script. Okay, and so the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to test a random user. So we'll go to a name. We can click Bunrar. Okay, that's his first and last name. And let's go to properties. Account tab. Let's copy the name. Okay, done. Bunrar. Okay, let's make sure that it's exactly like the logo name. Now we're going to copy just a random name and we're going to take this information. Let's go to account, name. We'll copy the username and we're going to log into client 1 as this user. And so if you look back at our script, we can see that for all of the 100 users that we created, the password is the same, which is password 1. Okay, so let's log into client 1. Okay, so we're going to need to sign out of here. disconnect, log in. Okay. Oh. Let's give it a minute. Let's close some of these apps out. Let's see if it's ready for us. All right, we'll minimize this. Okay, so now the server seems like it is not working. So we may have to quit remote desktop if it takes any longer, because it may not be responding. Yeah, it's not responding. So we'll do a hard force quit and log back in. Let's give it a couple seconds. Okay, look like they switched sides. So this is DC1. Let's see if it's connect. Okay, DC1. We were logged in as Stormy, I believe. I think we were logged in as the regular user. Okay. And then here, client one, we want to log in as bun.rar domain.com. Password one. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Let's try it again. All right, let's do domain first. No, my domain. In this case, let's go back. Okay. And we are in. We should be logged into. Where are we logged into? I think it's client one. Yes, client one. So we're logging into client one, of course, because we don't need to log into the domain controller, because the admin wouldn't have, these users rather wouldn't have access to the domain controller. They would have access to the client computer. Okay. Let's go to. Let's check the host name. Client one, who am I? All right, so we are in the right computer with the correct login. And now what we would like to do, what we are going to do next. So we'll go over this last part for the installation of Active Directory, but I think that we have already done this when we initially came to a particular roadblock, which was resetting the password. Okay, so we have successfully logged in as a non-administrative user into client one, which is connected to our domain controller DC1 on the network, which we can also reconfirm here. So if we go to ib config /all, You can see that we are on the proper DNS server because 10.0.0.4 is DC1's private IP address, and we have successfully created a bunch of users at one time using our pre-made script. We changed it from 10,000 users to 100, which enabled us to just quickly pick a random user and utilize that user's information to log into the client one computer on our virtual network in the cloud, and with the two machines that are connected together with our virtual network in the cloud via client one, which is connected to our domain controller, our second VM machine, which is DC1. They are both set on the same network and they are both on the same domain. So we have successfully created a DNS server on within. So we have successfully connected two machines to the same DNS server as well as to the same domain via the cloud using Azure and Active Directory. So if you'd like to learn how to do a few more steps in this lab, then stay tuned for the next two videos. And in those videos, we will be continuing from where we have left off, and we will be so in the next lab, we'll do some networking, file shares, and permission, and going in a little more in depth with DNS.